Alright, today we got a 2002 Toyota Camry. Oh, it's like the LTS package. The car, so the customer states that the car may hear a popping sound and the car stopped about a mile down the road. Had water in all the cylinders, which is kind of weird. And we're suspecting a blown head gasket. So after we pulled the plugs out and put them back in, we cranked this car. None of the cylinders would fire. There wasn't enough compression being made in any of the cylinders. So what we're going to do here is we're going to pressurize the radiator, and we're going to stick this endoscope down there that has the wooey woo on it, so we can see if it's coming up by the head gasket. We can record with this too. Alright, so we see there's already water pooling in there. I just blew it out. Now we're looking at the head gasket liner. Yeah, I'm going to pump that. See the water already coming down? Right there. Keep pumping it. There's water pooling right there already. That's it, hold on. Look at the other side. Pump it again. There's enough water in it. We need more water. We'll stop it there. Pump it. Oh, you see it running. If we put some dye in it, would have been a lot easier to see them. Alright, let me see that one. Let's take a look at this one. Is it already full? Cylinder's already full of water. I see it right there. Okay. Pump it a little bit. Oh yeah. Every time you pump it, it's pulsating in there. There we go. Running like a sim. Make another video. It's coming by the head gasket, so I don't think there's any cracks. I don't know if there's any cracks in there. I don't think there's, yeah. It's running like this. It's coming over like crazy. Alright, let's bar the motor over a little bit until we get to the other 2 cylinders. It's could get messy. Could get a bit hairy here. We got the Lone Wolf 2000 here. Let's see if we can get the 2 center cylinders down and see how bad they're leaking. 2 outside cylinders are running like a sieve. What did you do? There's lots of water in there. Right, those 2 cylinders are almost all the way up. Let's let the water out. Blowing head gasket doesn't even come close to explaining how bad this head gasket is. What'd you do? I gotta suck the water out. Never seen a head gasket blow this bad. It's crazy. Especially on something that ain't boosted or something like lifted the head. Let's see if I can see it now. It's like the center one's even worse. I think we got enough out there. If I can suck the water out, let's stick the camera in there and see how bad the water's running in on those guys. Where did the water come from? Alright, let's take a look at those center ones. Oh, you can just see it running. Look, you see the stream going down the side? There's a stream going down the side. Let's see if we can get the woo-woo over there to see it. Where's it come from? Oh, it's just running over there. Put a little pressure on that one. Yeah, it's not coming from the valve, it's coming from the head gasket. This is coming really crazy. Was I videoing that? I should be videoing that. Let's do it. We want to video that. That was really good, that one. That was really bad. If I can get back on it again. There. Oh boy, that's definitely a head gasket. I wonder if the head bolts ain't broke, or how did it blow? How did it blow the whole entire head gasket? Let's see if I can see. Oh yeah, look at that. Look at that. Yeah, that's like the head gasket's not even in there. That's a good video. That'll be good. Now we can shut her down and pull that head off. That is crazy bad. Like, I've seen head gasket blow between cylinders. I hadn't seen them all blow. Like, what happened? I don't know if you guys can see on here, but you can see that there's definitely light underneath. This is the sealing surface right here. There's definitely light shining through that straight edge. So this head is warped pretty bad. The head gasket didn't even really show signs of being blown. It's really, all the center head bolts were all loose. So the engine got so hot and took the tension out of the center head bolts, or it detonated or something. You know, unless this thing wasn't running right and detonated the gasoline. And there's a good sign for that may have been a cause too, because this thing has been getting hot. And say the two center cylinders might have been running really lean, because all this plastic is melted on the intake manifold. Getting hot might have melted the gasket and created a big vacuum leak. But I think I'm going to have this machined, that cylinder head, and put it back on here and see if this guy still runs. It looks like the pistons still come to top dead center. I'm going to check to make sure that these aren't bent. The connecting rods ain't bent. See if this thing can live again for another 300,000 miles. Alright, I've gotten the head resurfaced. And I'm going to pull the valves out. I'm going to put new valve seeds in there, and then I'm going to also lap the valves in. I'm going to use this little handy electric magnet to remove the valve retainers. Being a little stubborn. Let a little bit of pressure off. She came to the top. The retainer's removed. Move the valve spring. I'm going to keep them in order for exhaust and intake. Slide the valve out. I'm going to go clean it up a little bit, and I'm going to put go and put the valve grinding compound. I'm going to grind it, and I'm going to do them all like that. And I'll come back to it in a second. Got the valve grinding compound on there. I'm going back in. Put this little rubber hose on there so I can get the drill in here. Yeah, when you stop hearing it grind, you let it down and then pull it back up. That grinding compound will go back in the surface that you want to grind. That should be good. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, we got a nice surface all the way around that's ground. There shouldn't be a problem with that, and I'll take a look for it. Oh, wipe this baby out here. Yeah, looks nice. That'll seal up beautifully. This whole head's been resurfaced. It was warped pretty bad in the center. It probably took like 8 to 10 thousandths off, so that'll make up a little bit for some of the miles it's on this engine. Not too shabby. Looking pretty good. Looking real good. Oh, zoom out, zoom out. Oh, oh. Alright, then we got the new valve seals in. I've got the red ones on the exhaust side and the green ones on the intake side. And when I looked it up on All Data, it said black on exhaust and what did it say on the other one? Gray on the intake. So I'm assuming that's the way they go. And they seem like these are a little bit tighter. So I'm assuming that they're better for the vacuum or whatever. Oh, these shims, don't forget these. They got to go in there. Good idea to pull these shims out before you put it in the parts washer so you don't lose them. Keeping my valve springs in the same order, or not the same order, but at least in the same exhaust on the exhaust and intake on the intake. I've been trying the grease method. It seems to work a little better, have a little grease on these keepers. Stay in your home. Shimmy her down thick. Come up nice and slow. We're in. All right. That's how it's done. But it is a challenge. All right, we're gonna start putting the head on. I got the head gasket. Got some copper coat on this MLS head gasket. Let it tack up just a little bit. Clean the surfaces. That's on there. Let's see if we can get the head lifted and fixed. That's cleaned. There we go. Come on, baby. Got going on here. Oh, I think the dolphin. The dolphin must just not been lined all the way up or something. What we got going on here? Nothing I see there. It's holding it up. Holding it up. I should slap right down on it. Round two. Fight. Oh yeah, hold it. Rock. I want to see it rock, I want to see it sitting flat. not going down on this dull thing over here for some reason. Why is that? Lift up on this side a little bit. How about some gentle persuasion? Thinking that maybe because of the machine shop the galls were a little tight. Yeah, it's down there now. Good. Compare new to the old and see if they're the same head bolts, same style again. They sure look like they're identical. They're just a wee bit shorter and stretched. Alright. Supposed to put a little bit of oil on the threads. Put a little bit of oil on the washer. On. Two. There's three. I'm going to have to pull that solenoid back out against that to fall down. That was a mistake. Again, bring you guys back when it comes to torque. It says to tighten those bolts in several passes, and it says that maximum to torque them all the way up to 58, but it says to do it in several passes, so I'm going to start at 20. Work my way up there. Alright, number one. One, number two. One, number three. Number four. Number five. Number six. Number seven. Number 8. Number 9, number 10. Alright, let's go up to, let's do 40. Number 1. That's 40. 40. Six. 7. 8. Okay, well, let's go up, we'll go all the way to the 50, what is it, 52 it said? See, 58. Then we gotta do like 90 degrees. Better be tight. Tight like a tiger. Number 1. 58. Old barn door squeaky. Angry. Probably gonna go by and check them all after I tighten them all down just to make sure. Let's just check them all, make sure they're all up to snuff. Yep. That one is. That one is. Should make sure that washer didn't change. It didn't, right? The washer didn't explode or something like that crunching. Now we gotta stretch them all. 90 degrees. So let's set this thing to 90 degrees. Mode. Probably gotta reboot this thing. What I do to 90 degrees. Oh, let's see if we can get a chalk marker in there and mark them all. We're getting pink. We've got pink. Paint's going everywhere. I guess we can see where we started from. Make sure the torque wrench is doing it right. Alright, 90 degrees, baby. 100 degrees? No, 90. Additional 90. Looks like a lot more than 90 on that one. Yeah, Reset. I don't like that one turns so easy. Might even give that one a little extra. Make sure it's tight. This is 3. Take it with me. A little extra, I don't understand why you're doing that. Find out the threads in this fucker are no good. That was 5. And 6. Good. 7. Angry little devils. There you going. You will go tighter than that. 9. Enough for me. 10. Close enough. What make that a little more? I don't understand that, but I'm not going to doubt it. Alright, so I went to pressurize the radiator and we have a nice big crack. Wife's going to get some JB Weld so we can glue that back together and make sure nothing else is broke and get a new radiator down the road. Well, as you can see, the JB Weld fixed will be fixed. Holding pressure now. Well, it's all back together and we're going to try to fire it up. Oh yeah, you don't need it. Yeah, we got an ejector O-ring that's angry. That's about it. After doing a little driving, I went down here, I noticed it was running like crap a little bit. And using the flashlight here. I replaced the injector O-rings, that did help, but it didn't fix it. And what I ended up doing is unplugging the upstream O2 sensor here. So that fucking upstream O2 sensor shot, thing runs perfect now. I sprayed a bunch of brake cleaner around the intake manifold and it wasn't changing pitch, so I don't think there's any vacuum leaks. I might smoke this thing, but I suppose with all the coolant and crap went into that O2 sensor and screwed it up. One thing that's interesting is this mass airflow sensor is reading it just a bit high. It was reading even higher before, but now at least it's trying to go down. One thing that looks fishy here is still the downstream and upstream mode. The upstream mode, the upstream O2 sensor looks to be not working. It's just barely fucking working. It's either that or the data rate on this car is so slow. I'll force it rich. I don't know. I think that sensor's just plugged up, or it's just not detecting the oxygen. I mean, this sensor is eating a lot of antifreeze. Downstream one is definitely responding. I mean, this thing ain't fast by any means, but we've got oscillation on the downstream one, and it seems to be holding some heat. I'm assuming that O2 sensor, either the data rate on this car is so slow that it's not showing me the oscillations, or let's see here, is it gonna go pig lean or what? No, it's oscillating there. It's must be trying to control fuel because it's going up and down. I don't know. I got a new O2 sensor coming. I'm gonna stick it in there and try it. It may just be that this computer and the data rate coming from this computer is so slow that maybe I should be hooking my oscilloscope up to that O2 sensor to see what's going on. The oscilloscope would show real-time voltage changes. Alright, we're looking at that O2 sensor. It must be coming back to life. It's not oscillating quite as much as I would think it would be, and it might just be the data slow. But anything under 3.3 volts is considered a rich condition. Anything above 3.3 volts is considered a lean condition. It's running fairly stable. It's actually acting like it's running just a bit rich. I think it's actually pretty good. It's actually oscillating above. I checked the misfire counters. It doesn't show there's any misfires. You do feel a little fish bite, misbite every now and then. It's hard to say with this engine how it's going to respond, being there's like 10 thousandths shaved off the head, so it's technically making a little more power. It may never run perfect. It does run strong. But when the O2 sensor, when I unplugged it, it was adding like 40% fuel, so it was a little bit doggier down low, but it ran good up top. I was only getting 25 miles to the gallon, so I'm curious now is if this sensor, if the coolant burnt off of it now and it's clean and it's working, to see if it misfires on the way home now, because before when I unplugged the sensor, the car ran perfect, but it was probably a little less power. Before, when I had the sensor plugged in right when I got the engine running, it would start misfiring at under load, like at 2 grand, where the cylinder pressure is the highest. I'm thinking that there's nothing wrong with these sensors. I'm thinking the coolant finally burnt out of it. I'm sure that white residue from coolant burnt on the sensor was making it not reading right before, and it's probably running pretty good now. Well, another thing I could do is finish doing a smoke test of the intake, and then I could do an injector balance test. I'm assuming the cylinder head in this car got to like 350 degrees. It got very hot to melt all that plastic. So who knows, even the injectors maybe even be compromised a little bit, but otherwise that the car runs strong, she goes down the road. It's got a wheel bearing out, but it goes. It's got some power. I'd say that sooner like to see some better fuel economy. I used to have a 2003 Volkswagen Jetta TDI, and that got twice the fuel economy as this car. It's probably still alive today. You can see that there. I don't know if you can. There we go. Anyhow, this morning I only got 25 miles a gallon on the way home after messing with the fuel trims and the O2 sensor. We got about 35. 10-mile increase in miles per gallon. Awesome. That wheel bearing is extremely annoying.